Oh, hi guys, welcome back to a new video. So today we are here by Mike Angus. How are you, mate?
Hiya, Carl. How you getting on, man? Great to see you.
I'm very well, thank you. Great to see you too.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. So, how are you?
Yeah, absolutely great. Thanks so much for having me on as a guest. I've watched a few of your interviews. I saw the one with John Scott. Really enjoyed that, and the one you did with Bill Ever as well. So yeah, both guys I'm familiar with. So yeah, really enjoyed those. So glad to see it's all going so well for you.
Thank you. The more help is the better, I guess. So,
Mate.
what do you do?
Yeah, so I am the ring announcer for TNT Extreme Wrestling in Liverpool. I also I've been there for 5 years, so I've been there for the long run at TNT. So it's been going great from strength to strength there in Liverpool. We've built such a great fan base, and the shows we're putting on there in Hangar 34 in Liverpool are absolutely brilliant to come and see. So we have fans from all over the UK and worldwide coming to see the shows. And obviously wrestlers interested from all over the world coming to wrestle on our shows. So that's just really great to be a part of. I also ring announce for Wrestle Island. I have done since their inception. So Wrestle Island on the Wirral. So a great family-friendly show. Worked there as well. And also at Britannia Wrestling Promotions. Just started working there last year. And also the LWF as well up in Chorley. So lots of different bits and bobs for myself to do. And more recently, I've just started doing a bit of work with Hooked on Events. I was going to be hosting their WrestleMania party this year in Liverpool, but unfortunately, with all the COVID situation and everything, we didn't get to do that, unfortunately. But I'm sure that'll happen later in the year. And, do bits and bobs with Wrestling Travel. Good friends with them guys there. So, if I can help anyone out with anything like this today, I'm more than happy to get involved and have a chat about wrestling anytime. So, yeah.
Thank you. So, what got you into wrestling?
Well, I've been a wrestling fan since I was very young, since I was probably about 4 or 5. There was a video shop at the top of my road which had all the WWF videos, it was at the time, the VHS. So I went through the whole collection, all the WrestleManias, the Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warriors, Macho Man ones and everything, and used to watch all the videos. Didn't get to too many shows when I was really little, but as I got a bit older, I started getting to a lot more shows. We had All Star Wrestling is right by us, so I've been to the all the shows in the Empire with all my schoolmates when I was sort of in high school and stuff. And then as I got a bit older, I started going to the WWF shows as it was at the time. And WWE, all sorts of bits and bobs. Been to WrestleMania a couple of times, and then from there, went to all the 1PW shows while I was at university, and bit of PCW up in Preston. Me and the lads used to go to ICW up in Scotland. So try and get around and watch everything, see what's going on, and just love the wrestling. So yeah, loved it, mate.
Amazing. So who was your favorite wrestler back then?
So, when I was growing up, people like Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, they really caught my eye. The Ultimate Warrior, Demolition. I loved Demolition as a tag team. But then one guy who really stood out to me when I was younger was Bret the Hitman Hart, because I sort of followed his career right through the whole Hart Foundation bit. And then, when he won the Intercontinental title in '91 off Mr. Perfect, watched that with his family there. Obviously, SummerSlam '92 against British Bulldog when he dropped the belt there, and then beat Ric Flair a couple of months later for the World Championship. Watched all them, and then just watched it right the way through. So, he was always my favorite. And then I thought he was a great technical wrestler, great storyteller. And then after that, my favorite wrestler was Triple H. As I sort of watching developed, Triple H came in as Hunter Hearst Helmsley. And then his character developed from there, doing all the DX stuff, and then to the point where by the time I was going to watch shows, he was the game, and he was the champion, and he was for a good few years. So I just loved what he did.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So at the minute, what companies stand out to you, and what companies do you think are going to really progress in the coming years?
Yeah, so at the moment, obviously TNT Extreme Wrestling, where I work at the moment, them guys, they're doing great things. They've got some of the best people in the UK working alongside them. People like Simon Hill, who's just come on board, who's doing all our interviews and stuff. He does podcasts as well. Keep It Locked with Simon Hill. He's a great guy. Kieran Moran, who's been around the wrestling business now for a couple of years. He's sort of one of Jay's lieutenants. He's a great guy, great commentator. Really nice fella, and he knows his stuff about wrestling. He's done all his research and everything. So he's only quite a young guy, but he's he knows his stuff. And obviously the boss man there, Jay Apter, he's got his head screwed on. He knows what's going on in professional wrestling. He's a great guy and comes up with some brilliant stuff for us at TNT. So we're having a great time there. Got 3 big shows coming up at the end of October, which I'm really looking forward to. They've worked so hard in making them, COVID safe. So hopefully them shows will go ahead still. It's on October the 30th, October 31st, and November the 1st. We've got shows coming up on. So as far as I know, they've all sold out now. So, really looking forward to being back. One of our other local promotions, Future Shock, was just back this weekend to do their first shows. They worked so hard as well, getting theirs all safe and everything. And from reports I've heard, sounds like it's gone great for them and everything was really safe. All the wrestlers felt safe, the fans felt safe, and that's exactly what we need coming back. So, looking forward to that. And then as well, Wrestle Island, who I work with, have got some great things on the cards. They're just currently working on a prospect tournament, which has 20 young superstars coming through to wrestle in that. People you might not have heard of before, and they're going to have 2 more experienced wrestlers coaching them. So that should be a really good experience as well to see how that goes. So that'll be cool. But, you froze. Are you still there?
So,
Are you okay?
Hello?
Sorry, little bit of a breakup in the old satellite link there.
So who is your favorite independent wrestler at the moment?
Yeah, there's loads of people I like. I've really enjoyed Big Guns Joe's work recently. I don't know if you're familiar with him at all. Yeah, so Big Guns Joe,
he's quite awesome.
Great guy, and he's done so much stuff. Other people I really enjoy working with, Dougie Matthews, who I've worked with at Britannia. He's a great up and coming talent. Cameron Solas is another good one. He's done great things at TNT Ignition Wrestling, some brilliant matches. He's, I believe, the number 1 contender there at the moment, so that'll be brilliant to see how he develops in the next few months.
Wow.
Nick Cutter, who I work with at LWF, is a great guy. And, there's a couple of ladies as well, Alexis Falcon and also Lizzie Evo, both great female talent. And they're going to be taking on each other at TNT's Supreme Extreme show on October the 30th. So really looking forward to seeing that match for the TNT women's title. That'll be brilliant. So, I've worked with lots of great international talent as well. Sam Adonis is great, Retro Anthony Green and Joe Gacy. I've just recently been on one of our TNT shows, Project X, and I believe them guys are, got big things written on the cards for them. Another young UK guy, Jack Griffiths, who's been trained by Marty Jones. He was the first holder of the Alpha Gent Championship. He's a really good young talent to watch out for. Tag Team Paradox as well. Both good lads.
Wow.
So, so there's loads of good up-and-coming talent in the UK at the moment. So just can't wait to get back to see what everyone's been up to, during their time off. There'll be some people,
For me, For me, Paul Robinson and Carl Fletcher just stand out in Progress for me because I'm more of a Progress fan. They're two ones that really, really stand out for me at the moment. And
excellent, yeah. I've not had the chance to work with
them, I think.
I've not had the chance to work with Paul, but Kyle's worked with us a couple of times when he was with Aussie Open and also in Schadenfreude. He's been up at TNT recently, so just worked with him the other month. Great to catch up with him, and he's put on a bit of mass. He's a big lad, isn't he?
Yeah, he has, yeah. And singles competition as well.
Oh, sorry, Carl. I lost your feet again there a bit. Sorry, mate. It broke up a little bit there.
Yeah,
What did you say?
It's the connection.
Don't worry,
I
can
said,
still hear most of
Carl
it.
Fletcher, singles competition at the minute for Carl Fletcher, and I think he will be a champion at some point.
Yeah, I hope so. I saw him. I popped to Fight Club in Wolverhampton a few months back, just before lockdown, and he had a really good show in there, really good match. So yeah, it was nice to see him in singles competition for a change. And I think he's a great guy, and I think big things on the cards for him as well. So yeah, look forward to seeing what they do with him. So yeah.
Yeah. So who's the most favorite wrestler you have worked with?
I've been so lucky to work with some great people. When I was I worked with Wrestling Travel last year For the Love of Wrestling. So there was some of the most amazing sort of wrestling talent ever at that. I was lucky enough to be able to work alongside sort of like Ric Flair, Booker T, Bret Hart, Christian, all sorts of great wrestlers there. Had a little chat to Eric Bischoff, $1 Million Man. And one really interesting story that I've not had a chance to tell before was me and my good friend, the Hulk, got to meet up with Chris Jericho after the show. Had a little catch up with Chris Jericho, and he told us a really interesting story that he's a big fan of the Beatles, and obviously we were in Liverpool, and somebody had brought him a ticket stub from a Paul McCartney concert that was ticket number 1, and gave it to Chris Jericho. So it was so cool. He was showing us this Paul McCartney ticket from the show. So yeah, that was an interesting one. So yeah, loved it. And then in ring, when I've been ring announcing, I've ring announced for Walter. For Pac was one of my absolute favourites. Really great to work with Pac. Looking forward to him being back in AEW soon. I worked with Pete Dunne, who I've just saw is back on NXT UK, isn't he? And he's looking very healthy. He's worked very hard over lockdown, getting in the best shape of his career. So yeah, looking forward to seeing him back in the ring. Other people I've worked with: Pentagon Jr., Ray Phoenix.
Wow.
I've just recently, actually, a really interesting one. I ring announced for Dean Allmark in the last match before lockdown. I ring announced for Dean Allmark, and I've known him for about 20 years, and it was the first time I'd ever got to ring announce for him. So that was a good one to get under my belt at last. So yeah, it was good to ring announce for Dino. And people like Jody Fleisch as well, I've ring announced for, and Mark Haskins as well. You mentioned is one of your favourites. Mark and Vic here at all our shows. So yeah, it was great to ring announce for him, obviously.
Yeah, he's such a big inspiration for me. He's just amazing.
Yeah, great guy, great family, and his matches, storytelling, and technical wrestler. Just he's got it all, and really, all his matches he's had at TNT have been absolutely wonderful. So really enjoy watching him work.
Yeah, he's amazing. So, what do you think's going to change to wrestling because obviously the speaking out movement and COVID, what kind of changes do you think there will be?
Yeah, I just think everything needs to be. I'm hoping that'll be a lot safer for everyone involved. Obviously, anything that's come out in the speaking out movement needs to be to make sure it's dealt with seriously and in the correct manner. I feel like all the companies I work alongside have been absolutely excellent in in making clear their feelings on the matter and making sure that everyone is looked after. And moving forward, there can't be anything like that going on in professional wrestling. And that, professional being the main word we need to use here, is that it has to be professional and that it has to be seen to be looking after people in the correct manner. And that's what we've got to do moving forward, and make sure nothing like that ever happens again, because there's the brave people who've come forward and told their stories. That that's good on them, absolutely the right thing to do. And now everybody just needs to listen to them and make sure that it doesn't happen again and that things are done correctly. And I know so many people are working so hard behind the scenes in wrestling to try and make sure that everything's going to be running safe and professionally. And it's it's been an absolute joy for me to see. As fans, people may not realize how much stuff goes on behind the scenes, But things like just groups being set up between promoters, to speak about what they can do to make the wrestling business safer and better is, that's been a great thing for me to see. And to see people all working together so hard to try and make things safe. And as well with the COVID situation, all that sort of thing as well. The guys at TNT have worked so hard to try and make sure these shows we've got coming up are going to be safe, socially distanced, and just they're doing everything they can to make sure that the fans are safe, the wrestlers are safe, and that everyone has a great time. And, that's what wrestling's all about. It is making sure that everyone has a good experience. And anything like that, the speaking out thing, I don't want to ever see anything like that again, because it was upsetting for me personally, because there's people who I've worked alongside and worked with, and some of the stuff that was happening, there was no way you'd ever know any of that was happening. And for that reason, I'm glad that people have spoke out and said, because it just can't happen again, simple as. So, and it's got no place in British wrestling. So
I totally agree with you there. And I want to say how proud I am of all the people that spoke up about that.
Definitely. And
so, what do you think about NXT UK coming back?
Yeah, excited for it. I think NXT UK is good because it gives all the UK guys something to aim towards, and also it gives a great showcase for British wrestling. I've worked with a lot of the guys who are on it, and and I'm just pleased for them. They've done so well for themselves, and they're getting that platform to perform on. I think it gives young guys something to work towards, so they can progress their wrestling talent to the stage where they can be on that show. And although it's competition for local promotions, I think as well, competition helps. When they had the Monday Night Wars, that was the biggest time for pro wrestling in the States and probably worldwide. So, with more competition, you get more action, you get more excitement. And if there can be any crossover with NXT, I don't know what contracts are on at the moment, but, a few of the guys have still worked with us. And it's when they come in, it does bring a rub to the other guys and makes them work harder and makes them want to attain what them guys are getting. Them, they're traveling the world, they're living their dream, and that's what all the wrestlers want, and that's what they should all be aspiring to and aiming towards, which is it makes everyone work harder and it improves the quality for everybody, and that's what we want. So yeah, it's a good thing. The tournament idea was interesting with the whether in that tournament looks pretty good. I like that they're using British rules. We were talking about this a couple of weeks ago on something else I was doing, and I think it's different, and it'll be interesting to see. I once saw a match in Liverpool Olympia that was contesting of those rules, and I was never a fan of it before. But the guys who had that one, it was Rampage was involved, and did very well, and it was made it a lot more interesting. So, and I think I've seen Doug Williams have one as well before that was really good, and it just shows that sort of thing as well. It's a niche market, but it's it's got potential to still be an awesome match and tell a story, and that's what you need, isn't it? So
it is. So what matches would you like to see in 2021
coming up? I'd like to see I'd love to see Pete Dunne come back to TNT for us, because he's been the number one contender for about 3 years, but hasn't had a chance to come back and actually have his match yet. So that would be nice if that could happen at some point. But I know he's a very busy boy, so I don't know whether it actually will. Matches that I'd like to see coming up. Let's have a think. I'd like to see Haskins go against Joseph Connors in TNT for us, because those guys have been our two sort of main champions who've held the belt for the longest, and it'd be good to see them face off and sort of see who was the better man out of those. It'd be good to see Rampage Brown get involved again. He's always been involved on the fringes, and it'd be nice to see him have a big match. And I think he has been announced for our Supreme Extreme show on the October the 30th. So looking forward to see what he can do there. So that'll be good. And anything I can get along to, I love to watch the wrestling, and it's great to see new guys coming through and having good matches. Recently saw quite a few people who've impressed me. People like JJ Webb, only just recently sort of caught onto his stuff. Foxy, Matt Fox, the Captain Wristlock at Britannia, he's the champ there. It's great to see some of his stuff, and he does a lot of throwbacks to the World of Sport days and stuff. Very respectful, and great technical wrestling and stuff to see. So if you've not checked out his stuff, definitely worth having a little look at his work as well. So lots of good stuff coming from British wrestling, and it's loads of people with positives over lockdown. It's been great to see like the guys at Powered 4 TV, John Scott and Johners, Stu as well, from Stu's Wrestling Podcast, who I've worked with quite a bit, and Jess, all working really hard, still producing great stuff. The guys at Wrestling Travel, Justin Clapper has worked so hard during lockdown with the lockdown sessions. He's improved their YouTube views up to like 1,000 subscribers, which is just in the course of a few months where everyone's been locked down. That's just epic, and people like that, deserve the, applause and stuff. And just, there's a lot of people doing a lot of great things, and it's good to see, it's brilliant that people are still cracking on and doing great stuff. And I'm really proud of a lot of my friends who've worked so hard. People like Tony Knox, who does photography for UK Wrestling. He's done all sorts of stuff in art galleries and all sorts of photography during the time we're off. Just so many people are working hard and still doing great stuff. And it's I'm just happy to be involved with it. And I'm looking forward to what the future holds. So can't wait to see what happens next.
Same here. So where can people reach out to you on your social medias?
Oh yeah, I've got all the social media. So my Twitter is Angus Mad Dog. The Twitter's my newest one, so it's only just started really to baby. It's got about 500 followers at the moment, but I tend to post just funny stuff I see on there. But it's worth having a look at. I put any matches that I've had a ring announced for on there. Anyone posts anything like that, that all gets shared on there, so you can check out what I've been up to. And any up-and-coming shows and things, all the adverts for the TNT shows coming up over the Halloween weekend are all on there. So you can see what matches are going to be coming up and where you can catch them. Most of it's on Powered 4 TV, and Wrestling Travel as well share a lot of that stuff as well. So any podcasts I'm on, things like that will be on there. My Instagram is Mad Dog Mike Angus, so you can check out the all the pictures with all the any wrestling talent that I've worked with. We always try and get a little photo or whatever, and that goes on the Instagram. There's some funny ones from when I've been at WrestleManias and stuff on there, and wrestling conventions, just things like the Nasty Boys with me in a headlock, and having a beer with Tatanka, just things like that. All the wrestlers that I've watched when I was younger, I've had the chance to. I've been lucky enough to meet, through wrestling and through other bits and bobs. So it's great that the people you look up to when you're younger, then you have the chance to work with them later on in life. So, I've been really happy to do that. And my Facebook page is Mike Mad Dog Angus as well, so you can check that out. I think we're just coming up to sort of about 900 people following that. So that's great to see. If we can get that to 1,000, that'd be epic, and then obviously all the ticket information for TNT, things like that go on there. Any podcasts I'm on involved in, any of my friends' work that I see anyone doing anything great, I always share that for them. So, happy to help anybody involved in the wrestling business. As long as people are good people and they're working hard, I'm always happy to lend a hand with anything like that. So especially, people like yourself, it's great to see that you've got a passion in wrestling. You're obviously a fan of, Progress and Haskins and things like that, and, NXT UK. And it's just great to see that you're invested, you're interested. You reached out to me and said, very respectfully, and said, would you be able to help me out with this, doing this? And been more than happy, anything like that, mate. And I'm really proud of you. And you've done a great job. And it's good to see people like yourself doing that, so excellent.
So much.
No worries at all.
Thank you for being on the chat today. Thank you guys for listening to Carl Wrestling. See you in the next video.
Thanks so much, man.